Welcome to Whitney's World. I'm your host, Whitney Ward. Here we explore spirituality, mindset, and manifestation. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go. Well, welcome back to another episode of Whitney's World podcast. I'm your host, Whitney Morgan Ward, and I am so thankful that you've tuned in wherever you're at on this planet. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, this is episode 88. I literally cannot believe that I am already almost to 100 episodes. I am so proud of myself. And it's amazing to see how much I've grown and evolved and developed and transformed through this journey. This was something that called me way back in 2023 when my life was crumbling. I didn't know what was happening. I had lost everything. And my soul said, start talking and start a podcast. And I literally was like, you are crazy. You're asking me to do something and put myself out there, and that felt so impossible. But I want to say that this journey has literally saved my life. And I am so grateful and thankful, because it's really just a testament of when your soul is calling you to something, to just do it. Even in the midst of fear, even in the midst of not understanding what's going on, why you're being called to something, there is just so much freaking power when you do something that you feel you're called to do. Life will change. Life will transform for you, but you have to be willing to do the thing that's calling you. When I started my first podcast, I'm actually going to go back and listen to my first episode. I'm going to do that this week. That's going to be my homework. So if you guys want, why don't you also go listen to the first episode and let me know what you guys think, because I already know that I am such a different person, and I'm just so thankful and grateful for this journey and for being alive and to be able to express myself, to be able to create a space that is really me, that is really Whitney, that is really myself. And I love, all the symbolism behind me and everything that I am bringing into your homes, your spaces. Everything that's behind me is something that I believe in, and that it has transformed my life in some way or some form, some way. Anyway, whatever. You know what I mean? So again, just do what's calling you, because you never know what's going to happen. And I know I've said this before, but if you're new to my show, I want you to know that this podcast literally saved my life. And I am not saying that in a light way. I mean, I literally when I moved to Florida, my life came crumbling down. I didn't know who I was, what was happening, what was going on. I was in a very dark place, and I just kept believing, and I kept knowing that something has to break, something has to happen, something good has to come from this, because I didn't know any universal laws at the time. But thankfully, we have universal laws that actually run this realm and can never be taken away from us, that can never be destroyed by anyone or anything. And that when you tap into universal laws, you start to realize that you have way more power than you think. And with the law of polarity, which is what the yin and yang symbol is, when you have the universal law of polarity states that there is an opposite. So if there is dark, there is light. If there is bad, there is good. And so thankfully, through my terrifying and horrific experience and why I left Colorado, which if you don't know and you want to listen to that, you can go to my YouTube channel. It's episode 51, From Trauma to Freedom. You can tap into that story. I'm not going to get into it right now. But with that experience that I had, I now realize why the dark had to happen in my life to transform it into light. And so when something really bad happens to you or something really traumatic happens, there is, through the universal law of polarity, the opposite of light that has to happen. And so when I went through my darkness, I went through it because I was supposed to find the light. And when something bad happens, there has to be an opposite of good. And so my podcast was that opposite. Even though I didn't know at the time that's what was happening, that's what happened. So my podcast actually was the thing that saved my life through the darkness, through all of the seeking and searching to try to figure out what the hell happened. This podcast is the light in my life. This is the thing that kept me going because when I started my podcast, I didn't want to I wanted to bring something good into humanity. And I didn't even know, literally, I had no idea how this was going to transform. And I just knew that I didn't want to be inappropriate. I didn't want to have sex jokes and I didn't want to gossip. I didn't want to talk about people. I wanted to help people. I wanted to help myself. And so through my journey, what ended up happening was because I did answer the call, I did start the podcast, I started to learn. And I started to share the things I learned. I started to share the experiences I was having. I really opened myself up, and I'm opening myself up more and more every week. And it's so freeing. It's so incredible. It's so amazing. It's the best thing that literally ever happened to me. And no matter what has happened in my life, this podcast is actually the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I think the cool thing about it too is that it gave me the reason to really be seen. It gave me something to say. It gave me a way to stand out. It gave me a way to find my true self. And though that took me a year and a half to really find my true self, this journey is what allowed me the space to do that. Now, I'm not saying that you have to start a podcast to find your true self or any of that. I'm just saying, because this is Whitney's world, this is how I found myself. This was what allowed me to go on the journey of seeking, because I needed to know why those horrible things happened to me. I needed to know how to heal. And I was like, I never want this again. I know I'm better than this. And I know I didn't come to this life to be beaten down and everything taken from me. So what I learned through my journey is mindset, manifestation, spirituality, how to transmute energy, how to take the dark things that happen to you and turn them into light. So when you realize that everything in life is happening for you, it's not happening to you, this is what gives you the power. Because when you realize that life is a school, it's just teaching us, we're supposed to learn lessons and move on. When you can really come to that understanding that everything is happening for you, it's not happening to you. It takes you out of victimhood. It takes you out of being a victim of your life, and it actually inputs your power. It literally gives you all the power, stating that if you just started to look at life as, what is it trying to teach me? How am I being asked by my soul to evolve, grow, and transcend? Then everything in life is going to transform for you, because that is why we are here. We are not here to be victims. When you start to look at life that it's happening for you and not to you, you are given all of your power back. And so today I really want to talk about how to get your power back, how to become conscious in your mind, and how to really look at situations and turn it around for the good. Because what you have to realize is that we've been programmed on a deep fucking level here, and we have been programmed wrong, okay? But it's okay, because I'm going to give you some tools today that's going to help you start to become aware of rewiring your mind. When you can rewire your mind, and you learn that you can rewire your mind, because we are so blessed to live in 2025 and have so many amazing people that are devoting their lives to science and spirituality and learning how the brain works. And you actually have a way to rewire your brain, because our brains have neuroplasticity, which actually can change. You just have to flip the script. You have to be conscious, you have to be aware, and you really have to devote yourself to rewiring your brain so that you can run off of a new program. And then your life is going to change dramatically. And I am literally a testament of this. I cannot even explain to you guys how I have rewired my brain. I do not think the same way that I used to think. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of examples here in a little bit of like how this has happened. And I'm also going to give you guys some tools to start rewiring your brain. And then I did this exercise last night and I got 3 things that showed up to me today, proving to me how to rewire and that this is magic. This is real. This is why we came here. We came here to be powerful and to awaken to who we truly are. Now, I will say that not everyone is going to be able to do this because it does take dedication. It takes an immense amount of consciousness and awareness to do this. But for the people that are tired of being victims, are tired of your life being and taking over you, there is hope. This is literally the knowledge you're seeking. And I am so excited to bring it to you today because I know that it's going to change your life because it has literally changed my life from the inside out. This is also how I was able to quit drinking. And I did post on my Instagram stories yesterday, like a little story time about what happened to me when I quit drinking. But when you quit drinking and you realize that you hold all the power and that as soon as you start to harness the power from within and you stop giving your power away to substances, to people, to being reactive to your environment because maybe someone pissed you off or maybe someone said something you didn't like, or maybe your reality is just like sucks and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is some bullshit. Like, why do I keep getting the same thing? Why can't I break the cycle? Okay. This is all just simple mindset work. It's just becoming aware. It's just waking up and it's realizing that you do hold all the power, but you have to dedicate yourself to this work. And again, when you're rewired, everything's going to transform. Everything's going to change for you. And I promise. And I believe they say by the time you're 35, your program is like so deeply intense that it is harder to rewire. But again, we have neuroplasticity in our mind, so it doesn't matter how old you are, you can always rewire yourself. But if you are under 35, you are golden. You're going to get this and you're going to transform your life because it's just a matter of changing your mind to change your life. That's it. You really need to start to learn about universal laws. There's 12 of them and how those actually come into play when you start to realize like, I'm going to play the game because I'm tired of playing like a loser. I want to be a winner. And then you go on your own journey to figure that out. Also, I can only tell you from my experience, and we're all on a soul's journey. I 100% believe that. And so you have to realize that if I do something or say something that you don't like or doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. It's literally okay. You don't have to take everything, and you shouldn't take everything that people say and accept it. You should become the conscious creator, which I talk about a lot, but that's where you observe the thoughts and you say, do I like this thought? Is this me? Or do I not accept it? And you kick it back out, and then you impress a new thought of who you are and what you want and what resonates with you. No one can tell you why you're here. You have to go find that on your own. That has to be your own soul's journey. And you have to allow yourself to start unfolding and go on the journey. It should be fun. Okay, well, yes, it is fun. But there is darkness that you have to face too, because to become light, you have to go through the darkness. Like, that's the yin and yang. That's the polarity we live in. Like, it is just a law. It's just a fact. But once you're out of the darkness, like, that's it. Sometimes, there are times where people do have like multiple dark nights of the souls. And I had a few of those. And those were pretty intense. But for me, they only lasted like a couple of months. But sometimes they only last people a couple of days, sometimes weeks. I'm not going to like tell you what's happening, or like put any limiting beliefs in your mind, because it is solely your own journey. And it's exciting because, again, when you go on the journey to start healing and to start seeing yourself differently and start to actually change from the inside out, everything is going to unfold for you and you are going to see magic in your life. I have been tapping more and more into my intuition lately and really allowing that to like lead me and guide me. And my intuition has been like heightened more and more. And so anyway, as I'm talking, I'm really like allowing this information to flow to me and through me. So just hang in there. This is the work that really gets me excited and really makes me passionate. I don't know if, I don't think that really anything else to me is more important than becoming the actual creator of my reality and realizing that I do hold all the power. And once I worked so hard to learn this knowledge and to be able to share it with you guys is my calling. And so again, it's a process. And what's cool is that you can never run out, and you're never going to get bored in this life. And so for me, when you go on your soul's journey, and when it comes to intuition, because your intuition, especially for the women, is leading you and guiding you, my biggest and best advice is to feel inside your body what lights you up, what lights you on fire. Like when you hear something, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't get enough of this. Like for me, for a long time, that was real estate. I lived, ate, and breathed real estate. It was my number one passion. And now it's this. It's mindset work. It's manifestation. It's transforming your life. Because also something that I learned is that for real estate, I was always thinking that through accomplishment, through getting the money, through becoming successful, through getting all these material things, that it was going to bring me fulfillment. It was going to bring me joy. Well, when I moved, because I had to, I realized that none of that shit mattered. Literally none of it, because I literally lost all of it. I lost all of the years that I was building a massive empire for myself. And by the way, it's okay, because it's like led me here, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Even though it sucked, even though it was the hardest thing I've ever had to fucking do in my life, it is the most rewarding experience. And I've evolved so much. But all of those things that we've been taught, when you get the job, when you get married, when you have the kids, when you get the house and the this and the that and all this shit, none of it matters. And it actually, what happens is you get all these things that you think outside of you is going to bring you happiness, and then you're left empty. You're literally left with this gaping hole of like, okay, but I'm not happy, but I have all of this stuff. So what happened? So this is a pendulum swing, okay? This is what happens, and this is what happened to me. When I was able to create this reality outside of myself, this external world with all these material things and these trips and a lot of friends, but they're not friends. They were just like people in my life, because I literally don't talk to like anyone. There's a very few people that I talk to from Colorado. Anyway, what happens is when you create success from the outside, you end up having a pendulum swing. Okay. This is exactly what happened. This is the universal law of balance. So what happens is I created this world. I created this life for myself. I was the top 1% of realtors. I was crushing it. I was doing the thing. I had made this incredible business that was basically running off of referrals and all of this crazy stuff. But then my life came crumbling down because I wasn't who I was. I wasn't happy. I didn't love myself. I had no self-worth. I didn't create a life based out of balance. I created a life based out of things outside of me, thinking that's going to bring me joy. And again, it doesn't. It doesn't work. And so what happened is when my tower came crumbling down, I swung to the other side where I was left with nothing. So here I am. I have all this success and these awards and all of this stuff. But then I swung to the other side and I lost it all. And so that's what I went on the journey to figure out. What the hell happened? Because I'm a good person. I wasn't like a perfect person, but I loved people. I took care of people. I thought I loved myself on a deep level, but I was drinking every day. I was doing drugs. I was literally the biggest stoner you'd ever meet. I mean, I did live in Colorado, so it just is what it is. I ended up swinging to the other side, and I was like left with nothing. Literally, like no friends, no community, career. Now I got to rebuild, which by the way, I did. And last year I was in the top 300 realtors in Brevard County in my area. So I'm very happy that I was able to do that so quickly. And thank you to all my clients. Anyone that listens to me, thank you. And all my mentors and everyone that helped me, like, I love you guys and I'm so appreciative. But what happened is so let's fast forward. So I started my podcast. I've been rebuilding, healing, breaking the limiting beliefs, figuring out all this shit, trying to figure out like what happened so that never happens again. And I'm going to tell you right now that when you do the healing work, when you start to go on your journey of healing, you can create a life out of a balanced place. This is the universal law. This is what they don't teach us. You can create your life from a balanced place, a balanced foundation, so that you don't ever have the pendulum swing again. Because you now realize that nothing outside of me is going to make me feel better. If I go within and I start to heal from the inside, then I have a new foundation based off of my beliefs, what resonates with me, that God is within me, working to me and through me. And now you're able to create a foundation where you are working from a balanced place. And now you build onto that. And you're not going to have a pendulum swing again. But what happens is when you do not create your businesses, your platforms, whatever it is, from a balanced place, you are going to do all of this work and you're going to get all of these things. But then because you're not balanced and our universe is running off of balance, the yin and yang, you have a pendulum swing. This is why a lot of people in their 40s or 50s have a midlife crisis, because they think getting the degree and doing all of this shit is going to make them happy. But then they wake up one day and they're like, I'm not happy. I am suffering. What is going on? And this is all it is. Because when you look at your life thinking everything outside of you is going to make you happy, you are doing your soul an injustice. Because the truth is, everything in this mother effing world comes from inside of you. Your mind is running everything. Literally everything. And if you don't control your mind, then your mind is controlling you. And so what we need to do is go within and start to look at our lives. Look at the things that we're paying attention to, that we're watching, our friends, the actions we're taking. Like for me, I wasn't happy, so I was drinking all the time. I was trying to escape my reality instead of learning to bring heaven on earth. And so you can enjoy this life and you can build something from a balanced place because you love yourself, because you know that self-love and self-worth is literally everything in this life, and that everything outside of you is only reflecting who you are on the inside. And so you can get the success, you can get the fame, you can get all the houses and the cars and all the shit. But if you don't love yourself and you don't feel worthy on a cellular level, all of that will disappear. And I'm not trying to scare anyone, but like anyone that is listening to this, if you have goosebumps or maybe maybe you're crying. When I started hearing this, I started crying because I'm like, first of all, this sucks because I have to rewire and change everything, but it was also the knowledge I needed so that I could build a new foundation and I could never let that happen to me again. And so everything is balance. When you go within and you start to heal and you start to bring things to the surface, it's very tough. Sometimes it gets a little convoluted. People start leaving your life. Things start like disappearing, but it's because you are starting to change your internal world, which literally changes your external world. That's it. So it's a good thing when you start to change your mind, when you start to change your life, when you start to go on this journey of self-growth, personal development, healing, mindset work, the psychology of humanity and mindset and all of this, when you start to lose things or it seems like things just start disappearing, it's okay. That means you're on the right track. 100%. 100%. So I'm trying to keep these episodes to like 30-ish minutes. So I'm going to give you guys the tool because I did this last night and I heard this from another podcaster. And she's like, this is your homework. And last night I was doing it. And I was like, I'm going to talk about this on my podcast. But here's the magic. 3 things showed up today that literally reminded me of like, everything's always working out in my highest and best good. Everything's always working out for me. Everything's always working out for my life. Everything's happening for me. Nothing's happening to me. And this is what you have to do. Okay. So when you are rewiring your brain, you have to prove to your brain why things have worked before, because your brain is trying to keep you safe. It's trying to not go into the unknown because it cannot predict what's going to happen. But it's okay, because through perseverance, listening to people like me, listening to your own self, and proving to yourself that things have worked in the past, even though it was in the unknown and you didn't know how it was going to happen. This is how your ego moves to the side and allows you to go into the unknown and doesn't try to trigger you constantly so that you fall back into the old paradigm, okay? And I hope you guys are tracking with me because we're going from one paradigm to the next. People also call this quantum jumping, quantum leaping, okay? So this is how you do it, because if you're going to change your life, you have to rewire your brain. And you have to tell your ego, chill out. Sit in the passenger seat. Things have always worked out for us in the past. And let me show you, okay? So this is your homework. This is your tool. I want you guys to do this. And you're going to see immediate results. I promise, because this happened to me today. So 3 to 4 things that I want you to write down. 3 to 4 things that you believe or think are holding you back from what you desire. So write that down, whether it's a new job, whether it's getting in a relationship, whether it's becoming healthier, whether it's getting more money. I want you to write 3 to 4 things of what's holding you back from the desire. Then you're going to write 3 positives from each thing that you feel is negative. Okay. And I'm going to do this with you really quick so you can do this. But then this is the key. Okay. So what's holding you back? Then you're going to hit the positives, 3 things. Then you're going to connect a memory in your mind. You need to search back through your life, your amazing, beautiful, incredible life that has led you right here, right now, listening to this message where you are now breaking free. Okay. You need to connect a memory from your past of when it actually worked out. Because when you prove to your brain that the things that you think you're afraid of that are holding you back actually did work out in the past, your brain will ease up on you. Your nervous system will relax and you will say, look, this is proof that it's worked before and it's going to work again because I'm a powerful creator and what I say goes. Okay. I just looked at my clock and it was 3:33. Love that. Angel signs and numbers. So mine that I wrote down last night was one of the things that I felt like was holding me back from my desires was not being enough. I'm not enough. So now I'm going to take 3 reasons why I'm going to look for the positive in not being enough. Okay. So one of the positives is, well, there's always more to learn. So if I don't know enough, there's always more to learn. That's a positive. And then another thing is, well, if I don't know enough, then there's room for growth. So that's a huge positive because that's what we're here to do is grow. And then the third thing is I'm not perfect and it's okay. And like that instantly made me feel better. And I was like, okay, so now I want to connect a memory in my mind from my past when I didn't feel enough to prove to my subconscious mind that I am enough so that I can continue to take a quantum leap into the next life. Okay. So the memory is that when I started selling real estate at 22 years old, I didn't know anything. I knew literally zero. I passed the test and then I'm like, how do you sell a house? Now what? I don't know how to write a contract. How do I even first of all, how do I get a client who actually wants to buy and sell a house? Okay. That's a huge step you have to overcome. Find the clients, which by the way, I door knocked and I did open houses every weekend for 6 months. Okay. That's how I did it. Okay. So I'm proving to my subconscious mind right now how when I thought I wasn't enough, I was. This is what's happening. Okay. Then I became a top 1% of realtors in both states. Well, I think 1%. I'm the top 300 here, so I'm not sure if that's 1%, but we're just going to say top 1%. Okay? When I didn't know anything and didn't feel enough, I still was able to achieve being the top in both states. Okay? So those are 2 things where I was able to prove to my subconscious mind that it's okay if you don't feel enough because you are. And look, this is seriously a powerful exercise. And if you're listening to me and you're like, this is shit, well, I'm sorry, but it's not. This is literally how you rewire your brain. This is how you go from negative to positive. And it instantly, when you prove to yourself and you look back in your life how things have worked out for you, your life is going to change. Okay, so now we're going to go to the second thing. So the second thing that I feel is holding me back from what I desire is being judged by people, okay? Because I am all over the internet. I am working on building my own personal brand. And one of the fears that I have is being judged. So what are the positives? I'm getting attention. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Getting attention is good. And then I find the right people and help them. I am creating a community and connecting with people. So that's another positive that as I share, I'm connecting with the right people. And the people that don't like my message, it's okay. It doesn't resonate with them. They go listen to Joe Rogan or, whoever else they want to listen to. So that's the second. The third thing, the third positive in my fear of being judged is I'm finding my true self in my message. That's literally amazing. So now we're going to connect the memory, okay? Because we were proving to our subconscious mind that being judged is not a big deal and it's not going to block me anymore. So when I started selling real estate at 22 years old, I was super terrified of being judged. I'm like, listen, I just graduated from high school 4 years ago. All these people have degrees. I don't have a degree. I went to school for a year and I'm like, screw this. I don't like this. This is not what I'm meant to do. And I was afraid of being judged. And also what if I don't sell a house? Well, I became a top 1%. So that's great. And now I'm proving to my mind that it's okay if you're afraid to be judged because it's always working out. So don't worry about it. Okay. And then also, I was door knocking. Do you know how scared I was to door knock? Dogs barking, waking up maybe babies, people looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what if I don't get a listing? Well, I was super afraid to be judged. But you guys want to know what? I got listings, multiple listings from door knocking. So again, here I am proving to my subconscious mind, it's 5:55, that it's okay if you're afraid to be judged. It's always working out. And here's the proof. The proof is in the pudding. Okay? So let's go to the third thing. Everyone loves to talk about money. Let's talk about money. So as I am following my dreams, I am worried that not making money is going to hold me back from my dreams, right? So that was my third thing. Not making enough money with following my dreams. Okay. Here we are. We're going to prove it. So the first thing that the positive in this is that it makes me be resourceful and it allows me to be creative. It makes me think outside the box and be innovative. Those are extremely powerful and positive things. Okay. It allows me to build resilience. I overcome the fear of not making money. And it literally builds mental strength and resilience. And I learn how to trust myself despite the uncertainty. So I'm afraid to not make money doing this, right? But I'm building trust with myself. Okay? Third thing. The positive is I focus on purpose over profit. If I am fulfilled and I'm building something from a foundation that is of balance, by prioritizing joy and fulfillment of pursuing your dreams, this creates a strong foundation that attracts abundance naturally over time. And it's true. How many times do you hear people on TikTok or you hear people that are like, oh, I just posted something because it was fun and my whole life changed. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the girl. I think there's multiple of them now, but there's a lady that is a beekeeper. She's from Texas and she's just started posting videos of how she would save the bees. That's her thing, save the bees. Well, she ended up posting a video on TikTok. It went viral. She woke up in the morning. Her entire life completely changed. She wasn't doing something for clout. She was just posting videos. And she ended up on Good Morning America. She was on Joe Rogan's show. She was on all of these things. And now she has a brand. She travels all over the world where people call her and are like, hey, we have all these bees, growing in our shed or an old truck. Can you please save them? Will you take them? And so she does. So this is proving to my subconscious mind that the money will come. It will come. When you are living out of a good foundation of purpose, joy, and fulfillment, which is literally where I am, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. Don't worry. Just trust the process. Okay? So now we're going to prove to this. Now we're going to prove to my mind how when I was selling real estate, I was afraid to not make money because if you don't sell houses, you don't make money. But I door knocked and I made money. So I was afraid to not make money, but I took aligned action and the money came. Even though I was scared, even though I felt a little uncomfortable, that was my dream, and I made it happen, and it started happening, and it started working. And then I didn't have to door knock for forever. It was just this time till I got going. And if I wanted to door knock, I could, but I didn't like doing that anymore. And things kind of changed. And so I didn't have to do it. But I proved to my subconscious mind that the money comes when you're following your dreams. It does. And then when I build resilience, when I moved to Florida and I restarted with nothing, no network, barely, like not knowing anyone, not knowing how, like the whole real estate world is different here, but I made it top 300, proved it. Okay. Then started my podcast. I recorded once a week for 1.5 years, proved to my mind that I can build resilience. So there's nothing to be afraid of because I am resilient. And then I post on TikTok 1 to 3 times a day for the past 6 months. That got me really good at making videos. And then, so that was the build resilience, the proving to my subconscious mind. And then let me see. For the focus on purpose, again, recorded an episode a week and I released it. So not only did I record it, but I actually put it out into the world. So that is focusing on purpose over profit. I'm not getting anything for doing this yet, but I still do it because it feels purposeful and it gave me purpose. And then it literally saved my life. And so today, what happened was my subconscious mind, because this is the thing, what you are focused on grows, okay? Your mind, you have a reticular activated system in your mind, your RAS. So what you are focused on, your RAS is always looking for things to bring you your desires. So if you are fearful and you are always talking about and thinking about how you don't have enough money, your RAS is trying to prove to you why that's true, because your subconscious mind is your good and faithful servant. It's serving you. Whether you're thinking negatively or positively, it's serving you. This is why rewiring your brain is so important. So today, because I did this exercise last night at literally 9:30 at night, listen to how fast my RAS started to remind me of situations where it's always working out for me. So in 2024, I had a listing on the market for over a year. It was upside down and the owners were going into foreclosure. Miraculously, we were about to like take the house and like run, because not run, but like off the market. It was going to go into foreclosure. A month before this happened, I get a call from an agent that her buyers absolutely love the house. They're just getting married and they want to buy it. Those buyers literally bought the house and paid my commission. Technically, they didn't have to pay me a commission, but those buyers literally paid my commission because my seller couldn't. And so it sold and I made my money from working so hard on this listing. So my brain now is reminding me in my next day, because I did this practice, it's now reminding me of how it's always working out. Okay? That's the first thing. Then I've been manifesting just like opportunities and like, you know, this new life. And like, I just want to be around people that can help me grow. Well, then I wake up to a message from a friend of mine, and he tells me that there's like this meeting tonight for like talent in the local community. And I'm like, well, that's amazing, because I want to meet more people. I need to meet people in the talent industry. And so someone literally sent me something that was like, hey, you should go to this. So now, because I'm focused on growing, expanding, and building my brand, I have people now in the outside world showing me opportunities of how I can actually make my dreams come true. So then the other thing was that I got a text message today that, hey, you made it in the top 300 realtors since last year. So my brain is like, see, you are achieving your goals. Even when you're not focused on it, it's always happening for you. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like it really wasn't my intention to become the top 300 realtors. It just happened because I was manifesting, I was focused. And again, because I did this practice, now my subconscious mind is kicking in and it's reminding me of times when things are working out because I am quantum jumping, quantum leaping, creating a new life, a new reality. And so I need my subconscious mind and my ego to know, hey, this is happening. So chill out while we go and create this new thing. Remember, it's always working out. It's always working out. So relax. Just trust. This is life. This is what we're here to do. But until you can pull a memory from your mind to prove to yourself that it is always working out and that things are always happening in your best, highest interest, that then your body starts to freak out and your world outside of you is trying to trigger you to pull you back into the old paradigm. So I hope that makes sense. But I really hope that you guys do this exercise because if you do, let me know. Send me a DM, follow me, and drop a comment on YouTube. Let me know because I'm telling you, this exercise literally opened my mind to like a new level. And just writing things down, like you write it and then you do the positives and then you pull out the memory. Doing this and mapping it out in your brain is going to unlock things and it is going to give you peace so that you can actually start to move forward and know that you are meant to achieve your dreams. You just need to tell your ego, relax yourself and say, look, see, it's always working out. Always. So just relax. Trust me. I got you. Don't worry. This is what's supposed to happen. And when you can do that, everything will start unfolding in your best and highest favor. And I really hope that you guys let me know who does this and how it changed your life because I honestly didn't think that this would have made such a big difference. But it's crazy that 3 things today, 3 popped up and was like, oh yeah, remember how it's always working out? Here's 3 more reminders. I wasn't even searching for them and they just popped in. Literally. I got a text message from some agent that's trying to sell a property in that neighborhood where that house sold. And she wanted to ask me questions because the deal's crazy and like random. And she's like, I just need some history on this. And so I was like, oh my God, thanks for reminding me that things are always working out in my best and highest interest because yeah, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. So when you start to really search and go on the journey and allow yourself to think different, everything in your life is going to unfold, be the best for you. So anyway, this episode is definitely over my 30 minutes, but I really hope that it's going to change your life. I love you guys so much. Please make sure you follow me, like this, subscribe to my channel. Please share it with someone. Let me know your guys' feedback. I am getting better and better every week, and we're almost to 100. So absolutely, let's go. Hell yeah. And as always, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's go.
Journey to the end. I see your universe collide from deep within. Let me take your stars and rearrange it grand. Under lights I see the detail of your skin. Slowly while you drift, I hear you call, I'll be on time, I won't forget. She told me let me hold your heart, I got a test. She grabbed my hand and take the
One at a time, she slowly reclined. I'm tracing the skin, she poking ideas of love in my mind, till I find a rhyme, a reason to float. Under her wing, she handed me hope. I don't think I know, but I may go grab it. Not feeling the havoc or panic from damages under my soul. She tell me let go. I wanna know all your fears in the depths of the links of your soul. How deep do it coast? Where does it end? At the bottom of worlds I ain't been to before. I think we should go. I told her hold on, we bored in the journey, most can't take the toll. There's no turning back here, so grab on my waist. Feel the pain of my walk in my shoes as it call. I hope that you know I wrote you a love song, but I don't do singing, so I called a rose. Renee laid a vocal to take you to space. Now we painting a picture of love with a stroke and musical notes. I want you to feel my emotions while serenading from the ghost. Now that you hold all my thoughts, let me lay you back, take your mind down to the dark that I know.